Today, prompted by a recent week with the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid minivan, I'm going to be discussing a rather controversial topic for some of you, the world of plug-in hybrids. And while personally I'm someone who prefers my transportation to be all electric rather than plug-in hybrid, and I know some of you feel the same way, I think we need to properly examine the following two questions. Do plug-in hybrids make good transitional cars for the everyday car buyer? And should you buy one? The first answer, I think, is a resounding yes, as they're usually more affordable and less hassle to live with than many cheaper electric vehicles. But the second answer, I think, depends on the particular plug-in hybrid you're looking at and your own personal circumstances. Overall, I think plug-in hybrids can make a positive impact on their owner and help them make the switch to a fully electric car. And even if they don't, they undoubtedly help the person burn less fossil fuels, which is a very good thing. Now, I'll admit, if you're watching this channel, the chances are that you already own a plug-in vehicle or are considering buying a plug-in hybrid or an electric car. And if you are, congratulations! You've either made the switch away from fossil fuels or are about to. But for the purposes of this video, I'm also interested in the people who have yet to make that commitment, people who have yet to make the transition from a petrol or a diesel-powered car, who have so far looked at fully electric vehicles and considered them either too expensive or too limited for everyday use, or a combination of the two. And that's where plug-in hybrids can come into their own. While they're often seen by automakers and advocates as nothing more than compliance vehicles, vehicles designed to help automakers meet zero-emission mandates or perhaps meet tightening fuel economy targets, plug-in hybrids can get people who traditionally wouldn't or couldn't get into a fully electric car into a lower-emission, partially electric vehicle. That's because while plug-in hybrids have an electric motor, an onboard charger, and a high-voltage traction battery pack, of some description at least, to store electricity, they traditionally have a much smaller battery pack than a fully electric model. And since most of the premium that you pay for an electric car over an internal combustion engine model comes from the fact that battery packs are still reasonably expensive, and the larger the battery pack, the more expensive the car, plug-in hybrids do tend to be a lot more affordable than a fully electric model. Additionally, too, since they have the backup power available from the onboard internal combustion engine, plug-in hybrids can help first-timers get over range anxiety. When you combine these two key selling points together, you're left with a pretty good case for buying a plug-in hybrid, especially if you happen to live in a family with just one car or you find yourself making unpredictable or long-distance trips. And while longer-range, more affordable electric cars are coming to market, and they are bringing the all-electric travel within the budget of many more families than they once were, there are still swathes of the world where robust charging infrastructure just isn't available. I mean, I live on the US West Coast and I own a Chevrolet Bolt EV, and it's kind of an EV nirvana. And even then, the kind of long distance trips that I'd like to do are only possible along certain routes without a huge amount of pre-planning. At this point, I'm pretty sure many of you are fairly upset at this video because I'm not painting electric vehicle ownership as completely rosy. And I'm also aware that I'll have upset some people by avoiding the discussion of the Tesla Model S, Model X, and Model 3, all of which can use Tesla's extensive, robust supercharger network. But the sad reality here is that the Model S and Model X, unless you're really lucky and can buy a really low-priced used example, are out of the budget for the average Joe public. And the Model 3, while it's now officially in production, is still several years away for anyone jumping on the reservation bandwagon today. Of course, the other problem with waiting a few years for a more affordable electric model, especially when talking about the kind of people who will most likely find plug-in hybrids the most beneficial, that's young families with not huge amounts of spare cash, is that you're asking people to continue driving their existing car for another few years. Sometimes that's not possible, but even when it is, you're effectively halting the shift to plug-in vehicle on the promises of something better being just around the corner. Now, I think I've established that a plug-in hybrid can be a great transitional vehicle, especially if you only usually drive less than 30 miles at a time and can plug in to recharge each time you stop. But the question now moves to which vehicle you should choose. Well, that does depend on your own personal circumstance. But right now, I think you should try out cars like the Toyota Prius Prime, Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, Hyundai Ioniq plug-in hybrid, Volkswagen GTE or Audi A3 e-tron, Mini Cooper SE Countryman All-4, and yes, even the Chrysler Pacifica hybrid, the only minivan that you can buy today with a plug-in hybrid drivetrain. And though the last one, I should note, is only available in North America. But what about the others? High-end BMW plugins, the Volvo range of plugins, Porsche's high-end SE hybrids, the Mercedes S-Class plugin? Well, they all go into a grey area in my head, since many of them reach up into Tesla territory in terms of price, and at that point I can't advocate for buying a plug-in hybrid if there's an all-electric alternative. But since the purpose of this video is to discuss more affordable plug-in hybrids, it's kind of a moot point. Have you purchased a plug-in hybrid recently? Do you think that this has helped you make the step towards fully electric life? And how are your experiences thus far? Don't forget to tell me in the comments below. That's it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded, and click the Patreon link at the end of this video or on the description below if you want to help me make more of these videos. Until next time, keep evolving.